Hey everyone, I'm Antonio,
And I'm Janae.
and this is To Be Honest Reviews. We're reviewing movies, TV shows, anime, you name it. We'll review it and give our honest opinion.
Yep. So today we are doing Space Jam.
Versus Space Jam: A New
What is it?
Legacy.
Oh, okay. I couldn't remember what it was called.
Yeah.
What do you feel about the old one?
The old one. I don't know, it makes you feel like a kid again when you watch it, especially when you're older when you watch it.
Mm-hmm.
So
For me, I haven't watched it in forever, so I don't know. I didn't feel like the same kind of like, oh, I love this movie so much, and like nothing can compare to it because I really didn't remember it.
yeah.
You know. So I feel like I had a fresh take on the movie because I haven't seen it in so long, and I think I
Okay.
only saw it once.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I think I saw it like, I don't know. I can't even count how many times.
No, I did
'Cause
not watch it.
It was just one of those
Yeah.
movies when you're a kid, like
Mhm.
you just watch it all the time. You know,
Yeah.
like if it's on, you sit there and watch it. It's because of the fucking Looney Tunes. That's what it is.
Yeah. But for me, I like the old one. I think that, I don't know, it wasn't very complex. He didn't really have, Michael Jordan didn't have too many emotions. He was
Yeah.
very, like,
They kept it simple for him.
super
Obviously.
simple for him. He wasn't a very good actor.
I mean, he was a basketball player. So.
Yeah, he was a basketball player, so that's his thing. But I think he still did a good job for not being an actor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I think it was fine. I think they kind of kept him in his, like, where he can act, his skill set. So they did a good job with that. And you know the songs in that movie were like classics.
The songs are so good. They hold up to this day.
Except
for sure.
you know, R. Kelly.
Right. Who knows
They
how
kinda,
I feel
like,
about that?
that changed it.
Yeah.
That changed it for it. I mean, you still like the song, but you feel like
You're like, oh,
why
this is
they gotta be him? Like, damn it. But it's a good movie overall, I think, and yeah, I enjoy it. I enjoy it every time.
What would you say is the cons about that movie?
Well, like, I mean, you can't get overcritical with a movie like that. Obviously, the acting is not up to par, really. It's
Very true.
It's more. It seems like they don't take it very seriously.
Yeah, like the Looney Tunes really carry it for the movie
Yeah,
because
yeah,
they're acting
they do their
top,
thing there for sure.
top notch. Yeah.
And then also probably comparing it to now, when you look back, the graphics were not as great, of course, but it's it's the
Yeah.
90s, so it's different.
So we definitely have to give that some slack. I was curious as to why they didn't like make him into a cartoon character because I
Yeah.
thought that would probably make the most sense because
He went to
yeah.
wherever the hell they are.
Right, but he was still a regular person, even though he was in a cartoon world.
Yeah.
And I know that the graphics couldn't be good because how old it is, but that's probably why they should have animated him.
Yeah, yeah. They probably could have drew him up.
Yeah.
I mean, that probably wasn't hard to do.
Yeah.
But overall, like, there's not too many cons. Like, it is what it is. Like,
Yeah.
you can't really go deep into something like that.
Mm-hmm.
The one part that always bothers me is his house. How is his house so small? He's Michael Jordan. He lives in a rural, like, neighborhood.
Yeah.
And he's rich as hell.
Like, how does Michael Jordan live in a normal neighborhood? You know he's living in some mansion by himself.
And his wife and
With a
kids
couple
live in
acres.
this whatever house. There people driving the street. What's up, Michael? What you doing?
Hey.
Like, no, there's no way. So I was like, that's so unrealistic.
Yeah.
And then
They're trying to make him seem like an everyday kind of guy, even though he was like a superstar. So.
he was exactly
Yeah.
the biggest athlete at the time in the world. So like that was a little weird. Also some of the parts where it was like no reaction to anything that happened with the, like, if he got dragged into that golf hole thing.
Yeah. His friends were like, see you later, like he'll be
He's like,
fine.
oh, he'll be back. Yeah, like
Yeah.
like
Be
he didn't just get sucked up into a hole.
Right.
And yeah, and that fat guy, he was just, I don't even know his name, honestly. I don't remember.
I don't know. I think that's the point. Like, they didn't want us to remember him.
Yeah, he wasn't very memorable, but
Yeah.
yeah. So that was weird. Also the part where, you know how he stretches his arm out, like, why didn't he just dunk that?
Yeah.
He
would've
just
been more
drops the ball, like,
Yeah.
I didn't like that. I'm like, he should have dunked that.
That was very underwhelming.
Yeah, you're like,
And
oh.
he's like,
yeah. I was like, what the heck? That was weird.
So the new one. LeBron James.
LeBron James, yeah. I personally felt like like, I feel like they were trying hard for sure, but overall, I didn't necessarily dislike it because there were things in there that I thought were funny or like kind of went back and looked at some like memes or like references to sports references in it, and I thought that was pretty interesting. LeBron, you know, he can't do the same thing. Like, he's a basketball player. You can't really say like, oh, he's, you know, oh, he's Brad Pitt or some shit. I don't know. Like,
yeah, I feel like people will like somebody and then they think they can do everything.
Yeah.
But I think it's okay that, you know,
it's
they're
okay.
not the
Yeah.
best actors because
he
that's
sucked
not
at
their
acting.
job.
He wasn't that good. You know,
Yeah.
and it is what it is. But you know, you saw a lot more like in this one. There's a lot more dialogue when it came to like personal effect. Like, they felt a lot more emotions. There was
More drama.
the actual lesson to the movie in a sense.
Yeah.
Like, they're really trying to put emphasis on the, you know, you're gonna learn something from this. Like, but which kind of was his downfall because he's a basketball player. Like, just keep it simple for him. Make it, he has to help the Looney Tunes or vice versa, which I thought that was interesting.
I did like that in the original movie, it's the Looney Tunes needed Michael Jordan, but in this one, LeBron needed the Looney Tunes, which I thought that was pretty
and him becoming a Looney like Tune himself, I thought that was interesting too.
Yeah.
Which something that I wish they did in the first movie. Which, yeah, I mean, that was cool. And I personally liked that they did go through the different Warner Brothers like settings. Like, they went to Gotham City, or like he was Batman and Robin, and I mean, I'm a comic book fan, so like I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Or they saw the other characters in that Warner Brothers, you know, whatever. So I was like, oh, that's cool. You see the Iron Giant, you see King Kong.
That was pretty cool.
You see the different heroes and stuff. You saw the mask in the background, like the guy, you know.
Yeah, I think for me, I had a hard time enjoying the movie because I didn't understand any of it. I'm not big on like basketball, football, any of that stuff.
Yeah.
So they're doing all these things that is supposed to be funny, and every 5 minutes I'm like, what are they talking about?
Yeah,
like,
especially in the final game.
Yeah.
Like, they were really rolling out the references and like Lola Bunny's coming by with her arms out, like with D Wade doing the lob. I'm like, I understood that, but seeing the movie didn't understand that, so it kind of brought the movie down for her a little bit too, because
even like the villains, like each of them had these different powers that I didn't understand.
Oh yeah. Because some of the villains, you know, their abilities that they would do on the court were, you know, pertaining to that particular person, and she didn't get the reference of like, you know, like Klay Thompson being a Splash Brother, he was water and stuff like that, or Damian Lillard, you know, the Dame time, you know, she didn't understand those things. But for me, that's what kind of made the movie kind of better in a sense, because I was like, oh, that's cool. They kind of referenced those things, you know.
Yeah,
besides the fact,
I didn't get it, not at all. So I just was like, oh, okay, he's just a water monster. That's cool. That's fine, I guess.
Well, which movie made it feel like they both had crazy stuff going on? But which one do you think, like, the first one felt more of a basketball game, or the second one felt more like a basketball game?
Yikes.
Because none of them were really a basketball game, because they were doing craziest stuff. One shot, and this new one was like 40,000 points in the, you know, so not necessarily.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the first one.
First one.
Because the second one, it's like they would do one thing and they'd get like 1,000 points each time.
Oh yeah, well, because it was a video game, which I understand why they were doing video games, because today video games are so big. They wanted to make it relatable, or at least more relatable to the younger crowd. I think so.
I think the younger crowd will probably really like this movie because they're not really comparing it to anything.
And they'll probably understand more of the references in the movie compared to, like, if they watch the old thing, they're like, who's Michael Jordan? Who's Charles Barkley? Who are these people? Like, they never seen him play, you know. So
that's the thing about the older movie that I did like. I didn't really need to know anything about basketball to enjoy it.
Okay,
like,
that's true.
It's like they were showing all these players. I didn't know any of the players, but they were showing them on the court actually playing basketball. They showed what team they're on.
Yeah.
And all this stuff. So I kind of understood.
You understood without basketball knowledge that these players were good players.
Yes.
So
and they did spend a lot of time on them too, because they're like supposed to be the best on their teams or whatever, but they were, you know, like struggling to play.
Yeah, yeah.
And so they went through that
They
whole
couldn't do nothing.
scene where they couldn't do anything at all, which I thought was funny. And they also did spend a lot of time on it though.
Sometimes a little too much time. I think
Yeah.
if they dialed it back a little bit, I would have been like, okay, that's cool. So
So score it. So which?
so we're gonna
What's
every
the
video we're gonna score whatever movie or anime that we're reviewing, or TV show we're reviewing. So it's gonna be a score at 1 out of 10. So go ahead. What do you score
The original.
the original compared to the new one?
Okay, so
So-
for the new one, I'd probably give it like a 7 out of 10. Wait, no, I'm gonna change that. For the old one, I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10, and for the new one, I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10.
Okay. Okay, that's a pretty good score.
Yeah,
I think
that's not bad.
it's not bad. All right, I think for the old one, I'm gonna give it a 6.5, and the new one I'm gonna give it a 6 because, like I said, I think it edges it out in some areas that they probably did too much in the new one. They didn't need to do all that stuff for it, for sure. So that's where I'm gonna put it at.
So yeah, tell us how you guys like the movie. Rate it down below in the comments, and
You also could comment maybe a movie or TV show that you want us to review next. It could be bad or it could be good. We're willing to do
look, I love a good bad
anything.
movie. So.
I'm willing to watch anything.
Yes.
And we love movies, so yeah, just let us know.
All right.
Subscribe, and we'll see you next time.